Oh, well, welcome following a very exciting game there. David Lambert here in the booth at the Aquatic Center, looking forward to a France-Great Britain. But Rowan, just an exciting game. Argentina just pipped Australia in the last one you just called.
Just unbelievable. The guys are just, they were so excited, and the noise was just like having a soccer match going. It was unbelievable. The boys are so happy, and they're just, it was just such a great game. Pity for Australia. They probably just need to open it up. But here we go. Game has started.
Game has started. We got French playing white, Great Britain in the dark colors. So for viewers at home, we got French coming from left to right, and then Great Britain defending black. And as we got the Great Britain's making an early drive through the middle and trying to open it, but French defense is in cover. Ron.
Yeah, it's just here we go. We've got the refs having a go at the game again, doing a lot. I think they let this play go too long. I mean, if it goes longer than 10 seconds, then I don't think the players know where the freeze actually happened. I think some of it, they need to probably call it a bit sooner. And I don't know about you, Dave. I've been watching now for 2 days. I just wonder sometimes with all the gloving that they do is maybe if they put people out for gloving, they may stop doing it. At the moment, I think people just keep doing it because they know they can get away with it because all it is a free the other way.
Yeah, but the referee's been pretty cool on their escalation policy. So like if they do pass the warning, so the first time is get out of jail free, and then it's escalation. The bench is full of referees, and they signal, they give the warning. It's either a team or an individual, and they keep score, and then they indicate back to the referee. So I hear what you're saying, Rowan. The long free pucks do happen, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and I think it has been pretty good with the. It's been pretty good with the way they have been doing the play, and look, the reffing has been excellent. It's always, you're never going to get it right. You never. I mean, I don't think an umpire really changes the game, but that stoppage play can get a little bit frustrating, and as they know, they're trying to get the game flowing as well.
Yeah, and I think the referees are working hard. The advantage rule, as you well know, Rowan, back in the day when we were playing, we didn't have a lot of the advantage rule, but now that stop-start is sort of somewhat eliminated. But I hear what you're saying in terms of the play, as the French are making a really concerted effort in the traditional French game. It's surprising me this early that we're playing a lot of the game in the pool with both these teams. Nice clearance by the GB defense, but the referees have called it up again because they obviously didn't see something. But I think the fact the referees have been making concerted efforts to work together to get some consistency across the calls, because different country referees, the best of the best are here, and they're working well together and so forth, and working hard as the French press again.
Here we go. There's a big push in here. There's a lot of gloves. You're not going to see anything in here until it sits in the tray, I reckon. Here we go. He's called something. He's looking. He's called obstruction. He's gone in a minute. That's great. And look, this is what's happening a lot, and I think it's a big push in there. The bearded fellow over the other side, I'm not sure which ref he is, but he's been doing a really good job. I think he really, really lets the players know who's controlling.
Yeah, I think that's the Canadian referee. And as number 5, Armand, the vice captain for France, has been asked to sit out for obviously gloving the puck along the back wall. Gives the Great Britain team an opportunity to gain control and do something with it. And they have taken over to the side of the puck, Rowan. But on cue, we got another referee's call. And the referee's looking around. Whose it is? Gloving. And I believe that's a Canadian referee. I was talking to him earlier, and he commented to me that I think exactly what you're saying. He said that if we call them early, that tightens it up, and I think that's what he's trying to do here is establish that you make a foul, you make it bad enough, then out you go.
Yeah, and I think they're doing. Of the games that I have seen, it has been good, and I think everybody's pretty well sort of, as the comp goes on, you'll learn to play with the umpires, and I think, there's sometimes where these guys are playing on so much testosterone that they just go hard at the puck, and and they're just fighting, and I think, some people a little bit, I suppose, designed bigger than us, and I think some of these guys that are hard work down the wall, they are intentionally going for the puck, but then there's some other guys that have just got too much testosterone going, and all they're doing is just gloving it. So, I think it's just a 50-50, and I think they're right on it.
Yeah, I would have to say that the two styles we're seeing in here, which are possibly traditionally Great Britain and traditionally French, where they play down a narrow corridor looking for opportunities to sort of advance the puck into a clean attacking position. And I've seen and you've seen the French tactic over the number of the years, and that's sort of it. And Great Britain plays a very narrow channel as well, looking for that opportunities. And I think we'll see some, battle of the channels here, and funny enough, they fight over a channel.
Yeah, exactly right, and it'll be. I reckon here we go. I reckon he's called. It's interesting. I think he's called that as a flick into the body, but I mean, God, a puck going that high, didn't seem to be that low on the water. It's an interesting call sometimes with those.
He's given him a clear warning. Number 5,
Yep.
Andre Montan, who did serve a penalty, gave him a clear warning that you can't tackle that again, mate. And the Brits are starting up their free puck. Interesting tactic, that handstand in the front. It sort of puts up a screen and sort of distracts the opposition from what they're doing. And I don't know if it worked in this case. I think the French have seen it far too often, and that's forced the pressure they put on instantly has forced the Brits on the back foot and caused a bit of an obstruction of some sort against the French. So the GB team has to back up, protect their goals. The French line up in looks like a bit of a circular type approach for the French.
I reckon they'll open it up here. They're going to try and go to their strongest player. And I keep forgetting, is it this team that Nick's been keeping the stats on, saying one of their players has had about 13 minutes in the sin bin, the French, or is that in the 23s?
No, that's in the 23s, and I won't mention the name of the country, but it wasn't the French.
No, it wasn't the French. Oh, I thought it was the French when I was listening to the Glory Days the other day. I thought it was the French that he was talking about. Obviously, I've got my stats wrong.
No. I think in the numbers, you have the stats right. In the under-19 division, the French are leading in kick-outs. But it is overall the time you indicated about one player, that's in another division and with another country.
Right.
So the Great Britain's had another free puck here. The French were asked to back up again, and the Great Britains have pushed it under their sub bench. Sometimes you see that as a tactics, but with a free puck, they can suck in mid-air and get things happening. So it looks like they're sticking to the game plan down the channel and make it work. And the French are lining up for their and we have, I can't see the number, but he was certainly kicking hard to make it happen. So we got obstruction and warning given to the Great Britain team. I'm not sure if it was a particular number he picked up, but he's pointing at someone. Obviously, he saw something, and the French are lining up for another free puck, and the Great Britain will have to defend the try.
Yeah, and it'd be. I've lost our sheet of paper with our stats on it. I think you were saying, was it Great Britain was on top at the beginning of this game, and I think French was number 4. We may have had it taken off us, but it's interesting to see that Great Britain is sitting on top after these swipes around. Here we go. It looks like it's going to be called a goal. They've popped a lot of players here. No, one guy's calling umpire's timeout.
Yeah, it looks
Other
like,
one's called goal, but here we go. They're going to confer.
Yeah, let's see. We got the stopwatch on. I know Angus has a stopwatch to make sure they do these quite quick, make a decision, and move forward. Number 10 from the Great Britain team, Tom Pitchford, is there claiming his place, but I can tell you the referees are just ignoring him and ask him to walk away. And the referee, the Canadian referee, and the looks like an Australian referee in there, and a New Zealand referee, and they're calling it. They're looking like they're going to...
I think they're calling there's a glove, and then they were trying to play advantage. Somebody's going to get a minute here, and then there's an obstruction. So they've still called it the way of the French, but they haven't called a goal. So it was an interesting call because the puck had ended up in the tray, and I thought they would have played advantage play, but it looks like they've given it back to the French.
Yeah, I think it might have been an early advantage on something else, but if you're still playing advantage and it goes in the tray, I'm not sure what that was, but that's their decision, their call. Chief referee on the deck has full control, Robbie Kirkpatrick, and he was happy with that decision, and play is played right in front of the goal in GB. And French are, all the numbers are there. I think there's all bar but 2 players on either side, one from each.
Here we go, big push in here. What are they going to call here? Another big push here. I reckon they're going to call barging, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now he's pointing to someone. There's a barge. Number 2
for
the,
I reckon.
For the French is Sam Roman. Roman Parker, number 2 for the French, has been called for barging, and that what a let off for GB yet again. That's 2 in a row. I don't know how long the defense. It's good defending, but I don't know how long they'll put under the pressure. The play has been up that end for some time, and we're 6 minutes left to go, and obviously 7 minutes have passed, and the French are lined up with a very spread defense. We'll see whether GB. Yep, they're going to swim it to the side. Oh, I'm surprised he's taking it up the middle, Ron.
Yeah, I think he went to go outside and he just changed his mind. He's gone up, and here we go. There's another big drive up in, and that's what he's done. He's gone inside to get his right winger away. But here we go. They're going to call something here, using elbow. So it's going to be back for the French here. He's obviously used his elbow to try and get round the other side, I reckon.
Yeah. And no advantage gain there for the Great Britain, and it was against that. So the French end up with a puck in the sea. They're ready to take their free puck. Great Britain defense seems very tight and showing them the wall, so I guess they're expecting them to go down the wall, which they have, but the French are trying to move it to the middle of the pool. It's now in the middle right in front of the tray, and they're trying to drive it in numbers, and there they go, a nice support drive, and lone defender. And
beautiful defending.
I see something, it looked like it went in the tray, but it's defended, isn't it, Ron?
Yeah, he's just taken it right. I think we had a right-hander come down at the late, picked it up the puck, but what's he going to call here? What's he calling? He's calling obstruction.
Yeah.
I reckon he's called that puck that went the first time's gone under a player, and I reckon he's called that player for an obstruction.
It's driven into the corner, but the French are lining up for a play. They are making some quick subs. They were pretty quick swimming out, but that far in attack, it's sort of hard to sub that far.
Yep.
And this late in the day, unfortunately, the water is getting a bit murky, but you put about 600 players through here, and we're going to end up with a bit of body fat, murk, and all that sort of things. But the play
a lot of it can be air bubbles too. The water's quite clear if you look at it. It's just that whole thing of, as you say, 600 players go through. It's all that aeration in the water, I reckon, from the fins as well. The water quality's been excellent in the morning, and as you say, you get that many players through at the end of the day, you're not gonna be able to stop the bubbles, I reckon.
Yeah, and everyone's meant to take the showers down underneath the diving platform, but most people wouldn't have seen. So everyone takes a shower, goes in the pool, warm up, and look, we got unsportsmanlike. Number 5, is that against the French who are attacking? And yes, it is. And he's given 2 minutes to number 5.
Vice captain,
Arne Murat. So he's also having a very aggressive game today. He's been there twice. But look, that you expect the vice captain to have a hard game. So he's playing with a lot of I think you called it testosterone there,
yes.
And he's probably a bit overextended. I think the coach needs to talk to him and just say, settle down, play your game, play smart. What do you reckon? We have a timeout called. I wasn't sure who called that, but it's probably a smart timeout, and I'm sure it was the French, but I can't guarantee that. But the coach will be in there, Olivier Ben. He'll be making sure he calms those guys down. On the other hand, Richard Adams is probably sitting in there saying, guys, you're doing good place of defending, but hey, we're not going to win the game if we're at this end of the court.
Sometimes it does work in your favour, though. The French are going to be down to 5. There are some big boys there compared to the Pommy boys. You can actually see the size differences and big lads, but you can absorb a lot of pressure, and then all of a sudden you can break out quickly. And there's some quick boys in that GB team that I've seen, so it'll be interesting to see if they can use the width of the pool and stop bringing the puck back in on themselves. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, they lined up again with the headstands. I'm not a converted member of the headstand forward line, because that sort of puts you in a really weird position, and I use the word weird, but hey, they've practiced it, and that's how they take it. I nothing against it. That's their strategy, and they're playing it, and they're consistent with it, Roland. But the French have been forced into their favorite areas, strong, vicious on the wall, but GB is all there recycling their numbers behind them, Ron.
Yeah, and I reckon this is always going to be a tight game, because these guys would probably regularly play against each other too. I reckon there'd be players knowing who does what and who and what their weaknesses are, and I reckon they've played a few games against each other, so I reckon they'll be reading what they're trying to do. Big push in here by French. Here we go.
It's popped out a bit, but it's been
he's
recycled.
got it. Here we go. Oh, no. got a
Obviously,
stopping
in that
play
melee,
here.
we have a referee call. It's back against Britain. That looked like a slash indicating, so someone's illegally used their stick. Obviously not serious enough, accidental. It does happen when there's 6 players lining up on the bottom of the tray. And as you say, playing 5 players, I've seen a number of cases when they're down to 5, they score a goal because they live for it.
Yep, they certainly do, and they're going to drive it in here because they know that they've got to get it, because if they don't get it soon, all of a sudden it is going to pop out. So great to GB. They are defending really well here.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I guess with all those fouls calling, I think the French need to change it up a bit and pretend they're going down down the center and cause them to come in, but they go around the outside, just catch them off guard.
Number 3.
Yeah. What's that?
Getting done for an obstruction foul.
Yeah, but I don't see him being kicked out.
No, I don't think he's just a warning.
Yeah, obviously Chris is giving him me. No,
he's giving him 2.
He's giving him 2. So I'm not sure who's going out, but
number 3, I think it is. It's Oliver. I think Oliver Charnock Crawford, I think, is the player that's going out. Yep, number 3. We signal him, caught him for an illegal obstruction, I think, on that last one, which was very interesting because there were so many players down.
Yeah. So 2 minutes is escalates to the fact that he actually the referee determined that he actually did it deliberately.
Yep.
And it's serious enough. He's played a bit of an advantage, but sorry, Olivia, you're going to spend 2 minutes there, and I know you wish you hadn't have done it, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, defending that tray like you have, it happens. But the French have started off trying to move the puck and open it up, but the GB are defending by taking in the corner run.
And it looks like French are back to 6 too. Their players back in the water, so I thought it might have been a 5-on-5 here for a while, which has opened it up. But look, here we go. This is exactly what we talked about. The 5 players are working their ringers off here to make sure that they put the pressures back on these guys, and I reckon here we go. There's going to be a big push by the GB here. They are going for it. They're going to drive it down in this corner and take the French, and the French have been attacking so much. This is exactly what happens sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I love side subbing, don't get me wrong, but I've had some discussions around the deck when you're up in that attack for that long of time that the French were. I mean, there's got to be some fatigue because you actually didn't have the opportunity to sub, and on the vice versa, defending, we had a lot of subbing going by the GBs, and they have it. But now the tables have turned, and 5 against 6, and like you said, it's in the French corner, and obviously that those 5 players say, "Holy moly, it's time to burn," and the French sort of relax a bit. So we got a bit of a call advantage being played.
It'll be interesting to see which way it's being played because now he's called it. So I don't know if he's called this. Yep, so he's going the GB way. He was trying to play advantage and get it in. There's been obviously some chopping, shaking of the heads there from the French.
Yeah, like I think that pays to your mission. He was calling that for maybe about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I guess the infringements, I do notice that they actually do point to the player who made it, and we're not sure. And we got a bit of live chat here. Michael Buttersworth, come on GB. We got Clement Grama, Allez Blues, defending well, Great Britain. You're right there, Michael. And Leicester, congratulations. A little too much liking, though. I'm not sure what you mean there, Michael, but thanks for all those chats coming in. And if you are enjoying our free live chat, please, deep into your pockets and throw some shekels out where. And I think we've had a timeout called. Maybe it's by the GB. Go to our website and donate some money and help what we're putting on for free for you to help support the cause. And even if you like what we're saying and how we're going. Please provide that feedback. We always read them, as you can tell, and none of us are professional commentators. Ron, I don't know about you, but I put 4 hours of work in, and I cut a bit of work and came down here to call this because underwater hockey's in our blood. And the game's
It certainly is. I mean, I've been at work for 8 hours today. Come up, my boy's been playing. He didn't play today. He played this morning, and of course, then being a local, you've always got to support up here. And I notice Andy Stillwell's here going, "We don't play the French at all. It's youth level," which I find quite amazing that in England, being so easy to get over to France, that you wouldn't be playing more games over there. I mean, we're a Tassie, we're an island, and we get to nationals as much as we can and play against other states. So I find that interesting that you don't go and play against the French.
Yeah, that is interesting, and there's something that here in Australia we're very conscious of, and I think the kudos to the Underwater Hockey Commission who have supported us in our drive to actually get more international experience. 2 years ago, we went to Hawaii to participate in the Pacific Coast Championships. Took experienced players and a mix so that they get experience, and we're going there again this year in September just to further that experience. We expect to see Canada, U.S., a Barbarians team, the New Zealanders going to join us, and ourselves. So we're looking forward. It's a training camp, but it's a demo camp, meaning that we're going to run a competition-style camp, but we're focusing on, it's 3 meters in Quebec, and we're going to get some international experience.
And I think too, Dave, with your with the other stuff too, like 3 meters big. We don't have a 3 meter pool here. I think for the nationals that they're doing the 3 meter, and we might need to get over to the mainland and try and get some games in a 3 meter pool because it is a big difference there. But I think the other good thing that's been happening is all the invitationals as well. People going over to Indonesia, and I think you went to China this year as well, and doing all those sort of things. It's just, it puts it out there. It gets this sport going, and as we said, all the hits that we've been getting, the Argentinian game beforehand, all the people that were commenting and hitting, and I think all the likes that we've been getting on Facebook. It shows that people are out there are interested in it, and it's important that we do these things. And I think importantly too, we should be mentioning the GoFundMe on this one as well. We've got this set up so everybody can be watching this free, and I think it's really important that people put their hands in their pockets and go to the GoFundMe site and make sure that they donate, because it's really important to keep this type of feeds going. This is setting an example, and making sure that it goes out there.
Yeah, and we are at halftime. The coaches are probably laying down the line. Olivia and Richard both seeing some things that they want to see their players do. I can see the French I can see the Great Britain coach sort of pointing in some directions and asking them to do things and pick up the pace and do that. And looking down at the French end, we see them the same thing, and they're regrouping themselves for an onslaught. We're still 0-0 in this thing, and it was a exciting first half, end-to-end action, a bit of a bit of stop-start, but that's just the nature. The referees are in there to call a clean game so that it's fair for each other. So I'm looking forward to the second half. 43 seconds to go remaining in the halftime break, and the players are getting themselves organized, Ron.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great game. It's a great half, and it's that style of play that both teams play where they like to keep that puck in nice and tight, and I think that's what creates it. I mean, the French attacked really, really well. GB was defending really well, and that's what happens in these games. Something's got to give sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. You can keep going and going, and I think that the two teams are trying to work out where they can get that puck in and where they're going to be playing. So here we go. We're counting down for the last 5 seconds to the start of the game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if any of the coaches saw anything from their point of view and made those slight adjustments. And here we go. We're underway with the game, and we're off heading for the strike or the kickoff, as they call in the South African terms. But we got the French and GBs locked at 0-0, starting the second half, and straight away we're in a bit of a melee and trying for second and third efforts to see where it goes. It looked like it was going against the French, but it turned around against the Brits, and referee Chris saw something against the Brits and asked them to back up as the French will get an opportunity to gain control of the puck and see what they can do with this round.
Yeah, and it is a tense time. I noticed here Michael Butterworth saying, very tense. Well, this is exactly what happens in these games, and somebody's going to do something. They're either going to do something amazing and open it up and change it, or somebody's going to make a mistake and it's just going to haunt them. So, it's great hockey. It's just got to keep going like this, and you can see that they're all really, really hungry to be on the bottom and make sure that they do the right things. Here we go. Yep. Opening up play here. Great swim. He's held onto it well. Yeah,
the French seem to regain possession after a couple of flicks out wide. Brigitte found a bit of a hole there, swam it out there, but it's been defended by the French and stuff like that. So I don't know. Why don't we got Harry Tate here? It's interesting to see. everyone back home is cheering. I'm not sure about the time difference, but I'm sure it is a fair distance. It might be early morning or early into the night, given it's 7 o'clock here in Hobart. Didn't have a great day weather-wise, but that didn't matter. We're in here in the lovely, warm aquatic center, and again, thanks to the aquatic center for looking after us here and then they'll be working very hard tonight, Rowan, getting that quality back up. As every night with the vacuum cleaners and the filters working overtime. As we have, again, a free puck, and the French have been asked to back up in GB. The GB stands, the crowd is trying to rev their team up. There seems to be quite a few here, but they might be from the younger teams who are finished for the day. This is the last game.
Last game.
Yeah, last game. Second half, still locked at 0-0.
And I reckon they're really, really working it hard in here now. Somebody's gonna do a drive in a minute because they want to get that puck up in that tray.
Yep, and the referee
call
seen
here.
something. He's signaled out his player, and the player may be shaking his hand. We got Olivier Oliver. I'm sorry, he's nodding. Yep, he's taking words from his captain. Settle down, sort yourself out, just focus on your game. Well done, captain, from the GB. I didn't catch the number of that, but Olivier's back in play.
Yeah, Olivier. I'm not sure who their captain is, but he did really good. He worded him down very quickly, saying, "Look, deal with what the refs say. Let's get back into this game."
Yeah, but as we speak, the French, and you can see the ferocity here.
Yep.
That you got all the GB ready in the full support with the attacking support, and same with the French. And this time the French come up with it, but it's been possible. Yeah, nice reverse flick.
Nice
haven't
reverse
seen
flick.
many of those here, Ron.
He's got that out. He's got that out nice and quickly. He knew exactly what was happening. Big call here. Looks like it's against the French, maybe being too hungry for the puck, and the Poms have got a nice little movement here, and we should be seeing some subs here. You get that type of break, you want to get your freshest players in.
Yeah, close to both sub bench. A bit of a balk. It's interesting how some of the teams take different styles of play. They seem to change from their handstands. They've gone to a more traditionally a couple players forward and launch it up to them and see if they can fight their way through or gain possession of it.
Yeah, and it's a great look here too. I like, don't normally would say that talking about people's equipment and stuff, but the French all in their brares with their French flag on. I think it looks great. There's about 5 or 6 players who've got the same fins. It sort of makes it a little bit confusing for people because sometimes you can read play and what's happening, and because they're all a lot of them have got the same gear, you might not pick them as they come at you. So it's probably a good little ploy that they've got that.
Yeah, thank you, Harry. It's 10 a.m. over in, I'm not sure, probably in Great Britain, and they're watching that early in the morning. I'm not sure if it's the same day as we are here on the 17th of July. Thanks for that, Harry. Enjoying your live chat and the feedback. Thanks for continuing on that. I hope you're enjoying all that streaming went up. And on the glory days, Nick mentioned that we have 97 hours of film, Rowan, and that's fantastic because I know in the past that footage hasn't been all that remarkable to watch games, but I think with this, teams will be watching all night.
Yeah, and look, technology improves all the time. This is fantastic footage. I think they were in Stellenbosch. You were having trouble in the men's comp because the water was so cold because it was an outdoor pool, and I think they were doing things of putting helium in the camera housings because the cameras would warm up and create that fogging effect. So that's what they were trying to do in those to keep it cool. Whereas here, I think everything's been working really well. They've got the cameras set up. We might even have a better setup towards finals because they're going to pop a few more cameras in, which will make it a lot easier. Hopefully, we might even have a dunking camera, as I call it, maybe on a wall side that you might be able to see down one side. But it's still up in the air with those sort of things.
Now, I think our technical director is standing here next to us,
shaking his head.
Shaking his head. So no dunking cameras. I think that word dunking is probably just scared the crap out of him. Oh, excuse the language.
Yeah. Well, I still think you can always get. We've got a couple of GoPros here that are sitting on poles that could be just sort of lowered into the water quickly, just if you wanted to see something down the wall side. So,
yeah.
Oh, have we?
No, not going to happen, man. We see the call being played, but a lot of middle of the court action here. That surprises me with them both sides.
Gone.
And, unfortunately,
number 9
again. Valentin Carrera, number 9 from France, shaking his head, doesn't agree with the referee.
Got to get in that chair to get your time started.
Yeah, get in your chair, regroup yourself, and he's kicking himself in the head. How did I do that? Why did I do that?
And he knows it's a crunch time too. 9 minutes to go and down to 5. That now it's back on them to be defending.
Yeah, we're at that pointy end where every point counts in the
Yep.
standings. Lining up for who you're actually going to be playing in the finals and stuff is sort of starting to sort themselves up for the next few days. But let's see if the Great Britons can take advantage of it. So far,
Here we
we
go.
haven't seen any advantage being made when you have players down. And exactly what we see, Rowan. The French are making inroads into the Great Britain defense.
Yep, back onto that sub bench here. They'll get a few fresh guys in. The French will just try and hold it in there for a few seconds just so they can get it going. But they're going to get pinged here again. Here we go. Bit of a loose flick, but well defended. Nah, big swim here. Here we go. Be interested to see if they get shot. There's another player in behind him here. He's gone for the big swim as well.
Yeah, the tendency is to go out wide, sort of draw the defense and make them spread a bit. But they kept going, and they're trying down the far wall. But the Great Britons are putting a good push here. And unfortunately, I think the referees have seen something he's not happy with. And a stick infringement against the French, and they'll be asked to back up and defend their goal tray, giving the Great Britons an opportunity to have control and to drive it into the goal tray, Ron.
Yeah, I think the good thing about this too, Dave, is if you've been watching both these teams, the bottom time and the body positions very low in the pool. I find that is the most important thing to do in teaching young players how to play. You've got to be on the bottom all the time. Your knees almost need to be. That's where all your strength comes from. That's how you defend. That's how you keep players out. Everybody thinks, you have to be these big, brawn players and everything. And I know when I was playing over in Europe in the last couple of Worlds, I was probably the smallest guy in the Australian team. And, I know I could handle myself. It's just about rolling and making sure you use your body, but you've got to be flat on the bottom. So here we get another player out. GB's now got a player out, number 4.
Yeah, he sent for 1 minute. It looks like he deliberately chopped the French player, and the referee's right over top of that one and asked him to sit for 1 minute. And we're back to even Steven here, but we'll see what happens. As you said, 5 players lift for each time, but I'm not sure if the French are still
I think he's back in. I think he's back in, so it's 6 on 5.
6 on 5. And sure enough, on cue, it's back in the French end. But the referees have called something, and it looked like a bit of a chop by the Great Britain team, and the French will have at least a starting position with the puck. Let's see if they can hold on to it. Swimming a bit wide, but you can see the cover defense by Great Britain, very similar to the French.
Yep.
They have a spread defense so that if you go one way, they'll cover you. If you go another way, they'll cover you again. And the French have gone to their right-hand wall.
Yep.
Probably a bit awkward for a right-hand player, but sometimes the French have lefties in there, so they might stuck a few left-hand players on the side.
Yeah, it's a bit key to go up against lefties, actually. A lot of people don't realise what they can do. They tend to try and swerve a lefty, and they'll get pretty well rolled off because you're going against their dominant hand. It's much better to go up their body and make sure that they get caught thinking that you're going to go inside. So looks like there's a bit of pushing and barging over here. They've called something again on the right-hand side. Yeah, nobody throwing out, but...
Yeah, I think Robbie was concentrating on the call of the day, and unfortunately his players trying to get to the surface, and that you always got to let them come. Got a few more backs in there from Benet. Hi, Alex. Lester, Grandmother Barry, Benji's laugh out loud, and come on, GB boys. Thanks, Quentin. Allez, gracias. So that's go French, go, and push, and come on, GB. And Anthony Dubé is joined in by saying, let's go, GB, let's go. Thanks for those. Keep them coming up. We'll try to get them up there. But back to the action. We got referee
Another
Chris
minute.
Meeks pointing to number 7.
Number 7.
Matthew Adams. He did the old... Please, I really didn't do anything, Mr.
I'm on
Umpire.
the sub bench. I'm on the sub bench. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me, and unfortunately, he's been asked to sit for 1 minute. And once again, we find the sin bins coming into play because the French are lined up for an attack against
here
the
we
GB
go. There's a
goal.
big push here. There'll be a big push here, I reckon. And he's taken it into the corner. He's going to sit down here. Let's see. How can you see in there? What are they called here? I reckon there'll be an obstruction here.
Yeah.
Yep, against White. French are very good at that. They try to get in, but they've called him. They've gone 1 minute. I don't think he realises. I know he has. One's going, one's subbing.
Yeah, I thought he was pointing number 1. But I'm not sure who it is because there's no number 1.
Is there number 9 maybe?
Yeah, possibly. I'm not 100%
We'll have to wait and
here.
see as he gets out. Yep.
Yeah, it's number 4.
Number 4.
Florent Tasfa. Florentine Dusfond, number 4, got 1 minute for... it looked like an illegal chop or obstruction.
I think it was obstruction. I think it was the call, and they've defended well again. They've taken the puck out wide, GB. But here we go, big swim back across the court.
Because we're 5-on-5 here because GB still have a player in the
Yep.
box, but they'll get in and they'll enjoy probably about a 30, 40-second time to kill the penalty. But
Oh.
as you said, we have nothing but every time they get down to 5, that team shows a dominance.
Yeah, and here we go. They're going to call here. I reckon they're going to call somebody here for barging.
Barging, yeah,
Yep.
against Great Britain.
I think they were trying to call that earlier. I noticed the GB player was trying to get forward for the puck against the French fella, but I think he didn't get the puck, and so he ended up getting called for barging. That's what happens when you don't get given that puck early, I reckon.
Yeah, the French have sent two forwards player. One player's coming with the puck, but he's been driven into the corner. He's tried to launch it back into the center where his support players are, but he was unfortunate. It was picked up by G, but he seemed to somehow keep recycling it back that way, and the French are relentless in their attacking along that back wall, Ron.
Yeah, he's tried doing the reverse flick upon the right-hand side, but they've defended well here, GB, and they'll get some fresh players in because it's right in front of their sub-bench. It's going to get recycled again. Somebody's going to go for a big swim here in a minute because they've got some fresh players in. It's going to get rattled, and I reckon somebody's going to do a big swim out to the side. Oh, no, It's been put back in.
Yeah, you can see that there's a couple of French players sitting out wide waiting for that play to come
Yeah.
out their way, and they're hunting because he's got basically a free run into it. We got chief referee is sort of calling
a timeout, is it?
No, I think he was just signaling which referee was the call because both had
Both had a different call.
Yeah, both call, but it's usually the first referee who starts with his advantages, and that's what Robbie's looking for. He'll signal that, and that's why
now it's a timeout. Timeout white. French have got a timeout.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad play.
Good move.
Yeah, good move. And I'm checking the time. We got 2 minutes 35 remaining. We have, both sin bins are clear, or unless they jumped in, but 6-on-6. Hard up in the GB end. I can't even remember what the call was, but we'll see when they start. Another exciting half, Rowan, going both ways. I think the French have showed a bit of dominance in the half. It's spent a lot more time. I'd say probably about 10 minutes so far in the GBN.
Yeah, and I think, and what we saw last time, this will be interesting because I think GB defended really, really well for most of that first half, and then all of a sudden with 5 players, they did that big break up to the right-hand side. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. French have been doing a lot of attacking again. This timeout's been a great call, but here we go. Let's see where they
Michael,
go.
you better start growing and stop chewing those nails, mate. And these referees need to relax. But hey, listen, these guys are been doing this. There's teams of 4. They're rotating it through, and they're doing the best thing they can because they're trying to call a fair game. And I don't know, it's about relaxing and playing. A lot of advantage here, so don't be too hard on those referees. I've been seeing a few games, and I'm pretty impressed by this. And GB are frantically in here with number 5.
He's going to get done. He's going to get done, I reckon, for gloving.
He's either gloving or obstruction, and we got pointing out here.
He's done it. He's
2 minutes.
given the 2. You could
that's,
see that.
You think that's number 9?
I think that was. I think you could actually see what was happening through that clear wall there. He was being too keen for the puck, and 3 rests in the water. You're going to see that. You need to. That's where you just need to settle down and make sure. Now this is going to be a big drive by GB here. Here we go.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can actually capitalize this time rather than go on defensive with 6 players. And right again, we see the French, lovely curl off. He let that puck, he sort of knocked it forward, and the French are relentless here.
Yep.
They're attacking again with 5.
With 5.
It's just amazing. I did notice you called it a ball, but that I think our viewers have to understand that you're a very experienced field hockey player, and you mix the sports up a bit, but very similar. You got to be behind the puck. You got to drive it forward. We got GB driving. I'll leave it over to you, Ron.
Yeah, a great drive over there. Yes, have a bit of a hockey background with the family and play all the hockeys here. So I do get caught up. I do actually get into trouble when I'm coaching my club side. I keep calling the ball a puck and a puck a ball, so it's always interesting. But as I said, here's that drive by GB. They've got up into that left-hand corner. French are down to 5. I still think the French could be getting out of trouble occasionally with their speed, but here we go. Here's the big opening. This is dangerous. Great save.
I think the French were trying to switch it on the goal tray.
And he's called obstruction here.
We got the signal from the chief referee. It's someone else's call. He's called obstruction for a reaching over against GB. Unfortunate. That was very close because I think the French
he almost hit him
on the tray.
Yeah, and I think he did. I think he tried switching on the tray, and I think he actually got caught.
Yeah, we're going to go to replay because I think the GP has called a timeout on that because a lot of effort in that was placed. So it's probably a good timeout with, what have we got? We got 42 seconds left in the
42
game.
seconds?
Middle of the
Is that
pool.
right? Jeez, that went
now
quick,
in
didn't
the
it?
middle right in
It
front of
has.
us.
So here we go.
First
The
drive,
puck
it's,
went into the
number,
corner.
and there they go. A nice support drive.
Got a bit of a
and,
replay
lone
going here,
defender
and he's turned,
Yeah,
and then he tried switching out the corner.
yeah,
we might have just missed it,
we
but
just missed it. I saw the French player switching it on the goal
Yep.
tray. A sort of glory days move, as we like to call it, and it was very fortunate because it was knocked into the goal tray, but the play was called up earlier than that, so it was against the GBs, and their coach. Coach Richards up there, Richard Adams, is laying down the law. You got 42 seconds to go. As you want to win this, you got to put it all in here. And I expect nothing more from the French. And I'm sure Olivier Ben, the French coach for the under-19s, has actually said the same thing.
yeah, you got to be on the bottom. Got to be on the bottom here. 42 seconds. You should be able to do this on a straight breath hold, I reckon. If you shouldn't be able to, shouldn't need to come up. Should just be go hell for leather at it.
Let's see, and if you count them, there isn't many. There's only probably one French on the surface, one Great Britain on the surface. So they're all down there in numbers, all frantically wanting to pop one in to snatch the victory with 30 seconds left to go.
Here's the big drive here. Look, French with their 5 players. Somebody's going to do something here. They're going to have to rip it off the wall or do something.
Thanks, Rob. One of these times, when you come back to the pool, mate, maybe we'll check out what you mean by PD.
Yeah, I agree. There's too many calls from the rest, but that's what happens in these tight games. You've just got to keep grin it and bear it. 14 seconds. I think it's going to end up in a tie. They're just going to hold it. They're going to pin it on the wall. They're going to be happy with the draw, these two teams, I reckon.
Yeah, and something that's unfortunate in our sport, given the time pool and the constraints, there is no overtime in round robins. That's left for the finals. And I think you and both and I have been on the end of overtime game. And, unfortunately, we end up with a draw. We'll see how that plays out for the rounds. Last game of the day, very exciting. I reckon if the home players were all here, the crowd would be screaming like the Argentinian one earlier. But excellent game, Rowan. I might go outside and see if we can catch someone to see what their thoughts on the game.
Yeah,
so
thanks
again,
Dave.
Rowan. Yeah, I'm standing poolside as the Great Britain in the true sport of camaraderie in this sport are actually congratulating us in a very exciting game. First game I've actually started going a bit horseshot because it was end-to-end action and an exciting game, hard-fought game by both teams, and they should be pretty proud of the game they've demonstrated here in the Hobart Aquatic Center. I'm hopefully... Here, I'll help Stuart get across that. He's settling in from the couch. And we'll try to get one player from each team and have a quick chat to them and get their impressions on the game. Once again, French under-19s in Great Britain, 1-all 0-0 draw. Very good play. Mouth guard. Mouth guard. You come to chat? Okay, we're joined poolside, number 13. What a tense game. Commentators were sitting on last game of the day, but you didn't leave anything back there. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm from Zach from Manchester in the UK.
Yeah, well, congratulations. A 0-0. I mean, that was hard work in there. How do you feel right now?
Pretty tired. Yeah, we've had 2 games today, so we're all pretty tired, but hopefully should get a good sleep and then recharge for tomorrow against the Aussies.
Are you bringing back into the Aussies later on today?
Tomorrow I think, yeah.
Tomorrow, okay. Any shout-outs for the team? There were a lot of people up 10 a.m. in the morning over there watching the game. They were all chatting away with us. Any messages for the home team?
Yeah, thanks, Mum, Dad, Robin, Harry. I hope you guys are all safe and well.
You know Harry Tate then?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sending best regards and all that on the street. Is that your brother?
Yeah, that's my brother.
Well, a big shout-out to him because he was keeping us joking and laughing in the box.
Yeah, that's like him.
Okay, thanks again for joining, and draw 2-all. We're bringing in number 13 from the French. Bonjour, anglais, ma French un peu.
Please speak slowly.
Okay, I'll try to slow down for you. The camera's up there. Please answer in French if you like for your French viewers, because there was a lot of French commentating on the live chat. All the support back home.
All right, ouais. Eh ben, on remercie tous ceux qui nous supportent, les moins de 23, les filles. Et c'était un match très fatigant et c'est assez dommage qu'on n'ait pas réussi à concrétiser sur les temps forts. Mais il y a quand même du positif à garder et c'est que partie remise.
That was a very exciting match to watch. How are you feeling right now? You're pretty exhausted by the huffing and puffing.
Yeah, I'm quite exhausted by this game. It was maybe the toughest game of the round robin. We'll see for the next, but it's probably the toughest we'll have.
Well, thank you for taking the time and joining. I'll get back to the team and cool down for tomorrow's last. Best of luck in tomorrow's match. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
That's Dave Lambert here calling it the last game of the day. An exciting match against Great Britain and France. 0-0 draw in the end. Stay tuned. We're going to cut to the glory days. Thank you again from the deck.